Okay, we're going to start our space truss with a work in the conceptual mass that will allow us to create our roof form that we're going to apply our truss to. We're also going to create two additional layers so that we can apply structural columns that we're going to make, some custom tree-shaped columns. And we need to delineate the spaces with some kind of reference grids. And this is all happening inside of the conceptual mass. So we'll get started with a new document. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and close this one off. And if you were to open, and before I do that, if you're going to open up a new conceptual mass, the way we're going to do that is new. You go to new and slide off to conceptual mass here. And in the case of starting with no drawing open at all, which I'll do right now, this will be closed off. And I won't bother saving that. I go to a family and start a new, not a model, but a new family. And I'll select conceptual mass and open that file up. So either way to get to it. So now we need to create those, as I said, reference planes. So I'm going to go and select plane, and I'm going to work off of that original, the first highlighting plane there. I'm going to type in 50 so it offsets that plane, and I'll draw it out on that 90-degree angle, and just so it lines up with the existing reference plane. And I'll go ahead and draw another one on the other side right away. Type in 50 and carry that out and make sure it's perpendicular at 90 degrees. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Once again, typing in 50 and making sure that aligns. And one more over here. So that's very quick to create our reference grids. Now I'm going to go to our south elevation, and I'll copy up a couple of levels. So I'm going to select the level, and I'll copy it up, let's say 20 feet. And then I'll do that one more time with the copy command. And type in 20. And we now have two levels, two additional levels. And let's go back to our 3D view. And we're going to create that, like I said, a couple of reference planes. So it's already selected for the first floor, that highlights. If I needed to, I could select set that working plane by just coming down and clicking on it. And I'm going to make a rectangle that just fits that grid system that we've constructed. And I'll click off of that, and I'm going to create a form. And I want it to be a solid platform, and I don't know why this is extruding it right away. But one of the things we can do here is just delete out, select the form, and then hit delete. And it'll take it back to the first flat form. And then I'm going to tab in, just to show you the general technique here, I'm going to tab in and select that form. And then I'm going to divide that surface. And I'm going to divide it with a grid of 6 by 6. And I don't know if I can select this and then copy it up. I don't know if it'll allow me to do that, but we could try that. Unconstrain it from the grid. And I don't know if I just did move it, didn't copy it. Let's try one more time just to see if that's a valid way to do it. I'm moving up vertically, it looks like. And I'll go to 20. I'm not getting the other duplicate, so I'm going to just cancel out of that and make a new one. Section cannot be copied. So I'll hit cancel, and then I'll just do Z, undo that. And we'll make one more plane. And I'll set it to the next reference plane up. And I'm not sure we're going to get all of the indications that we would like with that. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the top view, and we'll approach it a little differently. We'll do that reference plane again. And I don't have my, I'm going to cancel out of this. It's not, there we go. I don't know where I stepped into a little bit there, but there. Better control back. And we'll take a look at that in the 3D view again, or Move that off, and we have another plane. Let's go ahead and create a form out of that. Once again, it's a thickness, so I'm just going to delete the original form, and now we have that base form. And I'm going to tab until it selects that shape, and divide that surface again, and divide it into a 6 by excuse me, a 6 by 6 grid. And as I said before, these two planes are specifically for placing columns and getting some alignment to our top grid. Last thing we want to do is now work up at the roof level, and I'm going to make a couple of shapes, and then I'm going to kind of bring them into alignment. So I'm going to go back to this angle, excuse me. I'll set our working plane for the third level now. Go back up into the top plane, and I'm just going to not actually touch any surface, but I'm going to make two NURBS curves. I'll make one more now. And I'm avoiding touching any kind of lines because I really don't want to make them reference points yet. And then I'm just going to go through and modify these until they touch some strategic points. Not, I don't want them to be referenced to them, or locked to them, should I say. But we'll just bring them into a bit of alignment to our envelope size. We'll stretch this out a little bit, and we'll grab that other one, and we'll move it a little bit also. Okay, so let's go now to a 3D view, and these are all in a flat plane, and I want to just enhance them a little bit. So I'm going to pick up an edge. I'll grab this edge, and I'll drop it down a little bit, and I might drop this one way down, and we'll pull this one up, and we'll drop this one down. This can be any way you want to shape it, but once we've done something to create some kind of a form, I'm going to select both of these edges by holding down the Control key and select Create Solid Form, and we have a piece of geometry that goes across now that defines a wall or a roof surface. And I can step back out of that. I wasn't very happy with the way that looks. I just undid that. I'm going to select this line and kind of pull it down, kind of give these a little more of a dip to them. And then I'll select both of these lines again and create that form and see what we've got. So now we have a somewhat of an interesting shape. And once again, we want to select that surface and then divide that surface. And we'll divide that. The other one grid was divided off in 6s. We'll go ahead and just divide this off in 8s. That'll give us an 8 by 8 grid of our future space frame truss that we're going to start constructing soon. So I'll end this clip at this point, and we'll pick up on the next clip.